All right, hi, I'm Beck Lane, and this is Catalyst&Co Company. I'm still kind of in my pajamas. I haven't showered yet anyway. Catalyst&Co Company, where we're catalysts in our own lives and catalysts in each other's lives, and hopefully we become the artists we've always wanted to be. I hope through my stories and all these videos, I can help kind of guide you there. I know for a long time I couldn't guide myself, but we're working on changing things. And part of that change is me going back in and looking at work that I've never felt particularly proud of or wanted to leave behind because it just felt like, it felt like a half measure. And behind me is one of those paintings, and I've been working on her since last night. This is my friend Kathy. Sorry, you've got a bit of a glare coming in, but this is my friend Kathy, and it's from a photograph. Let me move over. From a photograph I took of her in Times Square at midnight when she was kind enough to take me to Manhattan, and we walked around to galleries so I could submit my portfolio, my portfolio brochure, and talk to gallery managers and owners. And this was at the end of a very long day, and it was pouring, and it was pouring all day long, and this poor woman had lost her patience, but she never expresses a loss of patience. She always takes a deep breath. And we were sitting in Starbucks in Times Square. The Long Island Railroad had been electrocuted earlier, and just a little while earlier, as we were about to go home, it was electrocuted. We didn't get home until about 3 or 4 in the morning. So we're sitting in Times Square. She's wet and exhausted, and she's just sitting there staring at me. And I'm like, I know. I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to leave the city. Very selfishly, I didn't want to leave the city, and poor Kathy had to tolerate me. So this painting was originally started about 10 years ago, and I'm looking at my lines and stuff and the colors while I'm talking. I've never been particularly happy with it, although I did love the weirdness and the lines in her face. The rest of it, before I started touching it last night, everything in the background was the black and white gesso that I like. But at one point I decided to cover the black and white gesso with different browns and other colors, and it just felt like I was faking it. It didn't feel finished. It felt just dumb, I mean, frankly. And it's not something I want to leave behind. I never want to leave anything behind that isn't 100% of everything I can do. So although this is 10 years later, and it's 10 years later and I'm working on it, it's really, really, really bothered me. We've shown it. It was shown in New York several times at a couple solo shows and other stuff. It's been shown in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It was shown in Providence, Rhode Island, several times each. It's been shown in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and we've never sold it. And I felt it in my heart. It was not good. It was not finished. It was not wholly me. It was not wholly me and everything I can do and full of technique, and it just didn't feel bold. So last night I went in and put colors and washed the background with blues, especially the white gesso canvas that I left exposed. That's been covered with light and dark blues. The dark black gesso that was then covered with brown has now been covered with darker blues. And then I went in and decided to mimic her hair. She has this wild curly hair that I've loved since we first met. We met in high school. I think we were 13 or 14 years old. So that was 8,000 years ago or something. She just had this really wild hair that I've envied my whole life. So I decided to mimic it or use it as a cue for the background. So I went over the fairly smooth background and just started squiggling. Not a technique I use. because sometimes it can feel fake and it feels as though the artist just doesn't know what to do, so they're going to squiggle. But it's been layer upon layer of color and different shades of blue, different types of blue oil paint, like electric blue, phthalo blue, just all different dark blues, all different types of blues. But I've also got these great colors in the background too that I'm cutting into. There was a huge section here that was like a lemon yellow. I don't know why. It matched this. I don't know why. I put it down with aerosol originally and just decided to stick with it. And that was going to be that. But now we've got all these layers and layers and layers of squiggle. And then this was almost like a moon in the background. I don't know why. Was never happy with it. And so last night I had yellow, orange, like Indian yellow and orange, down to red and several different types of red by several different companies in the background, the same yellows, oranges, and reds that are in our hair. But this morning I was looking at it and it looks like it looked like I just kind of did it and went, oh well, that's it, end of story. So this morning it was adding more squiggles. The paint is really, really wet still, even though I'm mixing primarily mineral spirits with oils. It didn't dry overnight. So I'm gonna let it sit for the rest of the day, or at least for part of the rest of the day before I go back in. I am really enjoying this section and how it pushes her hair and her head out. It just kind of frames it, but it pushes and it plays. This side, and I'm sorry about the glare. Let's see if we can get some of the glare gone. Here, move her over. See if that comes in a little bit clearer. This still feels somewhat not finished and almost apologetic for existing. So we're going to fix that particular corner where this was almost like a moon or a light in the background. I'm just going to keep blending in. I've decided I'm going to keep blending in mixes of blues and darks and then some colors and bring some color over in this direction, so it just feels fuller. And it's more framing her face but without framing her face. This section down below was stark white, didn't love it. This was stark white, didn't love it. Still not wholly committed, not wholly understanding what I'm going to do, but it's not going to stay as an afterthought. We never want to leave anything looking or feeling like an afterthought. I was listening to or any part of the canvas, any inch of the canvas looking and feeling like it wasn't intended to, or it was left as a, nobody will care, nobody will notice. We never want to do that. We never want to do that. We want every inch to feel full and whole and balanced. I had someone say to me a number of years ago, I can take a photograph of any square inch of the painting, any one of your paintings, blow it up, and we've got a whole finished, fully balanced painting. And that's something I've been keeping in mind. It's been like almost 20 years. So I just want to keep that in mind while I'm working, that someone doesn't take this particular section, blow it up, and they go, ugh, or say this section, which is driving me crazy right now. But I don't want to keep attacking it either until I've got a little bit of a plan. Not a fully hardened, this is what we will do plan, but a little bit more of a plan than what I've had. I want the whole painting to engage with itself as well as the viewer. So I was going to mention one other thing that I heard. I was listening to an interview, and this is what's kind of got me propelled on reworking old things. I was listening to an artist, and I think it was either a writer or a musician. It was not a visual artist, but they had said something very important that I have hanging up, and I've had hanging up for weeks now. They said, at some point, your art becomes theirs. Your art becomes theirs. So I want the painting, every painting, to feel as though it's something that is yours. And it's something that you can feel proud of, whether it ends up in your home or not. I want you to be able, I want viewers from wherever they come to feel the painting, feel the image, feel the brush strokes, feel the image as a whole, and feel they can claim it and be proud of it. Not everybody will. We do have douchebags and people who will hate everything just because they have nothing better to do, and I don't really care. I don't really care. But I want the people who understand what they're looking at to really be able to own it, to feel like it's theirs. So this is going to be finishing this. Oh, I can see it. I know what I have to do. Okay, so seeing it, especially on camera and trying to talk about it, is it's motivated me to finish this. And so I'll probably do it tonight. And then after 10 years later, waiting, and that's what it's called, is waiting, will be done. If you're interested in waiting, pricing and info, if you're interested in waiting, the contacts to get pricing and info will be down below at Blue Egg Gallery and Chasing Galleries. I just think this is going to be a real knockout when it's done, a real bam. That's what I want. I want excitement. I want people to go, I'm so excited when I look at it, and really own it in their hearts. But pricing and info will be listed down below, or the contacts for it. Also, if you'd like to help support Catalyst & Company, all the links for that are down below, including Patreon, where you can supply monthly support. And we're coming up to that time again, but Patreon, where you can supply monthly support. TeePublic, where you can buy images, and you can get images actually of the original waiting on TeePublic, printed on t-shirts, mugs, hoodies. It's getting chilly somewhere, not in Florida, but somewhere. Hoodies, prints, posters, etc. And then all the other links are down below. Cash App, PayPal, etc. All right, I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst & Company. Let's go do our best work. I'm really excited about this. I got to show you how big it is. I'm so excited about this. I used to kind of turn it away and put it against a wall, but I'm not going to want to do that anymore. Anyway, that's it. All right, Carrie, ready? Here we go. Ciao, ciao, meow, 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 boink.